Hello explorers and welcome to another video. Today we're going to continue our Linux journey and we are going to compile Linux from scratch. And in this video we are going to look at the test framework for our compiler. This is not mandatory to actually run. It's a very good way to see that you have built a compiler and that compiler works the way it should with all the libraries that are required in order to create the things that we want to build later on. So if we have any problems with our compiler at this stage, things will be a lot harder later on. So this is a way for us to ensure that we have done good so far. So in order to do this, we need to install three packages: TCL, Deja GNU, and Expect. So we are going to start with TCL. So let's unpack that. Let's see if we can find it. TCL, it was a tard gzip. So then we go into that package. We should go into the Unix folder, and here we will configure -- prefix into the tools folder there, where we have put everything else so far. And I don't think this test framework will take that long to configure. So there we was done. Let's do a make of this. So now we are building the one of the parts of the testing framework, and this is TCL, which stands for Tool Command Language. So these packages are important to have later on for some testing, but we can do some initial tests with this tool command language, and by writing here TZ, so time zone, and we put in UTC as the universal time, cardinal universal time. So why they have switched the ordering of the letters, I don't know. Time zones is strange. We should just have one time zone and everybody should just refer to time that way. We are too fond of of numbers being in the specific order. Let's see here. So UTC make tests. So this should run all the tests for this framework. So let's see. We have some AA exit test. We have some append test. We have some apply test, assemble test, async test. So this will test all the features of the compilers and binaries that we have so far. So I will let the tests run now for a little while and see if we go through and get all the tests success. The tests might fail on some systems with specific setups, and they have not figured out why that is. It's a bit weird because these tests should be universal and should be testing the compiler and see that we actually have a sane environment. Let's see here. We have event, for instance, here seems to have failed. So we have one failed for event tests. And I'm running Ubuntu systems. I think it's very common environment. Should not be any failures there, I believe. So now I've run through this test suite, and it seems that the event test was one of the few. I didn't see any other tests that failed, so I can be quite sure that this build that we have now is fairly safe and is well made. So now we can continue here and install this. So we have this tooling available for later builds. We also need to change a file here. So we need to change some user privileges. So add that the user can write to tools lib and lib TCL 8.6 .so. So now we've changed those permissions there. You can see that root now have read, write, and execute on that library. So it's not 555 for read and execute for everyone. So we also have write permissions now for root. And we make install private headers. And these headers are required for a tooling called expect later, or the expect package. So we need to install those. And we also need to create a symlink here to TCL SH 8.6 tools bin TCL SH. There we go. So now we have a symlink for TCL SH to TCL SH 8.6 in that directory, and that's so this file points to this file in the same directory. So it's a little bit weird that we only type the short name here and then the long name here. But this is the file we want to create, and this is the information we want to put in the file to find the new file that it should link to. So this should work. Now we're gonna fix expect. So let's do a tar and extract expect. Yeah, that's a tar gzip. So we're going to expect. Now we want to copy configure to original. So we want to make a copy of configure to configure original, and then we do a sed command. There we start with a search for USR local bin, and so we want to change USR local bin to bin, and we do that on configure original to and put it into configure. Okay, let's see here. So now we should be able to do configure -- prefix again, and this should be to tools, and we do with TCL, and that's in the tools lib directory, and with TCL include, and those are found in tools include. So what we're telling the compiler now that is that build it into the prefix directory, and you can find the TCL libraries in the lib directory in tools and the include files in tools include. So the lib directory are these so files, and the include files are the header files that you need to build your system. So let's see if this configure works out here. Yep, now it's configured. Now we run make as usual, and it will create this expect tooling in this directory. That went quite fast. So now we can make test, and this is to test the compiler again. And this is not mandatory, but we run this as we if we can. Oh, here we have a lot of failures. We have 15 that went through and 11 that failed. Okay. Yeah, we soldier on and see what if we can do this. But that when you get these many failures, I get a little bit unsure if we have a good system. But this can be normal. It was a long time since I did this, and I can't remember that I had these many failures in this step. So let's make script install. So why do we do script? to the empty string. It prevents the installation of supplementary expect scripts which are not needed. Okay, so let's not install those. So now we have expect on our system, and now we just need Deja GNU as well. So let's do tar and decompress it. Deja vu. Yep, and let's go into that. We will configure, and as we know, we want the prefix to be tools again. So this should be something that we know by now by heart. Make install. So there's installed the Deja vu tools. We didn't actually run make to build things. We just installed it. So that's interesting. And now we can test the results. So we can make a check here to run some checks to see that it's it's a good install, and it seems that all the expected tests passed. So now we have all the testing tools, and I will split this video up in multiple videos, but I think that this series is gonna give you something, and I hope that you will learn something from this series, that you will understand Linux a little bit better. If you like this video, give it a like, share it with your friends and colleagues. If you have any comments about this specific video, then leave them in the comment section down below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do that, and I really hope to see you in the next video.